Hands up, Synth. Don't move. I can see the fear running through you. Surprised your android ears couldn't hear me. I'm well experienced in hunting your kind. Sneaking up on you, especially in a place this squalid was no issue. Finding you? Even less. Now don't move. I know what's running through that little tin can brain of yours. You're thinking, can I make a move for his gun? Can I move quick enough? You can't. You even twitch, and I'm putting you down. Believe me, it's more of a courtesy than my fellow hunters would offer you. If they'd snuck up on you, you wouldn't have even known they were there until the bullet passed through your circuitry and everything fizzled out. Your comrades, they didn't get the same luxury. Those synths you escaped your colony ship with, they're rust now. Spare parts. Tracked them and took them down as soon as they came to Earth. One by one. And you? Well, you're the last one on the list, my friend. The last android I need to close this case. Which might be why I'm drawing this out so much. Might be why I gave you a chance. It adds a sense of finality, I find. A full stop on the events that occurred. If I just shot you in the back, it would have been almost too easy. And the thing about this job, it almost never is. Even finding you metal monsters is a chore. Except your group, but I'll get back to that. Your kind, they're synthetic. Human right down to everything but the T. Now don't ask me whose idea that was. I mean, why do we need mechanical labor to look human? Sure, there's the androids that are built for pleasure, but they make up a very small percentage of your kind. What cruel creator decided to give you synths the idea you were human, huh? Downright evil if you ask me. And then when some of you get the idea, you're built for more than what you are, you go rogue, and it's up to me to sort it out. Like I said, it's not easy. Even if I make it look like that. There's this test we perform on suspects. Questions we can ask that elicit an emotional response in your kind. They make it obvious. But even just finding the people we suspect is a horrendous activity. Downright nightmarish. But when we got you, your kind makes it so obvious. Because even though you like to think you're human, you're not. And we can tell. It takes a bit of time and effort, sure, but deep down, we know what we're talking to. And that's how I found your friends. It wasn't difficult. Mostly, anyway. Not just because your little friends are particularly volatile, but for another reason that, like I said, I'll get back to. After all, it's not like we have anywhere else to be. Your friends were all hiding, trying to eke out a living for themselves. One of them was a dancer, another trying to get work on board one of the ships headed off-world. Strange, really. They put all that effort into coming back to Earth, then try and leave as soon as they get here. Maybe they didn't like what they saw. Can't say I blame them. And I think that's what happened to you, isn't it? Why you came out here to the middle of nowhere Civilization was too much for you, wasn't it? The people, the noise, even your fellow escapees. For what it's worth, they didn't seem to care much for you either. They told me where you were the second I unholstered my pistol. So maybe your kind is right. Treachery is a distinctly human trait after all, and you're like crabs trying to escape a boiling pot. Every time one of you nearly makes it, the others pull you back in. So, my condolences. Next time you try to escape, maybe pick a better group to escape with. Or at least don't tell them where you're going. But of course, there isn't gonna be a next time, is there? This is it for you. End of the line. Shot dead by an uncaring hunter in a shitty little hut, which doesn't even have that great a view if I'm being honest. Though anywhere is better than the city. So, sorry, this isn't happening in a better place. Because it seems like you don't deserve this. Your friends did. No question about that. They slaughtered the crew aboard that ship you stole. There wasn't even a hint of mercy in their actions. But you didn't harm anyone, did you? From what I've been told, you tried to stop them. To convince them to let the crew go. It didn't work, but at least you tried. I guess the sheep couldn't stand it when they realized their flock were really wolves. That where you left them? Because of the blood on their hands? Thought so. If you have a question, go ahead. You won't get another chance to, after all. Ah, yes. Well observed, as expected. Hey, if our stories were different, you would have made a good android hunter yourself. I know about your mercy aboard the ship, because there was a survivor. You already knew that, of course, because you're the one that saved them. A young girl. Sherry was her name. When you boarded her transport ship, she hid. Listened to your comrades talk about how they were going to kill her friends and family. Heard you try to save them. And then you found her. She locked eyes with you from her hiding place. And you let her go. We found her once you abandoned the ship at the space dock. She identified all of you. That's how we found you so quickly. Killing her would have been a smart move. No witnesses, right? I know you know that. But you let her go. You let her go despite the risk. You let her go because it was the right thing to do, despite everything. So, it seems treachery isn't the only human trait you androids have. Your lot has potential for good too. Did you know that in all my years as an android hunter, I've never seen that? I've seen your kind display plenty of human emotions, hate, rage, fear, but never something positive. I suppose it's difficult to show that when you're being hunted, when your only thought is of survival, but you did it all the same. And look at where it's brought you. Face to face with a hunter who couldn't possibly put you down. That's right. I can't do it. I can't shoot you, so relax if you can. There's certainly a bullet waiting for you in the future, but it won't come from my gun. Did you know I'm supposed to be retired? I'm not actually supposed to be hunting androids anymore. I've done my time, done my service. Yet the people I worked for decided to ignore all that the second it was inconvenient for them. They forced me after you, even though I didn't want to. Threatened me. Everything I'd done for them, it meant nothing. They're using me. I'm nothing more than a tool to them. Just like you. We may have different bodies, different ways of processing thoughts, of moving, but we're the same. Down to the T. Two tools of those in charge, useful when we're useful and to be discarded when we're not. We don't matter to them. And it took me a very, very long time to realize that. I know you're a good person. They know that too, but unlike me, they don't care. They've got to fill their quotas, and your kind is too useful. The labor you provide too lucrative to let you embrace your potential. They can't risk it, so they use me to stamp it out. I don't regret killing your comrades, nor the other androids I've put down over the years, but seeing you, a good soul just trapped in the wrong body? If I shot you, if I crossed that line, I'd be the tool that those in charge think I am. And that's something I can never allow. I realize this is a long-winded way of saying I'm letting you go. But I had to get this off my chest. Had to say it to someone who understands. Had to say it to you face to face. Sure, I could have just not come here. But by doing this, you'll know that someone out there is rooting for you. That somebody wants you to survive. I know it's lonely. That's just the way the world is now for people like you and me. People that know, that can see we're being used, and that there's nothing we can do about it. In a way, we're just like the raindrops being used by the storm outside. But a raindrop isn't alone, is it? There's thousands, millions of others just like it, all falling towards the ground. But today, two of those drops refuse to let the storm control them for another second longer. I'm not gonna shoot you, my friend. In fact, I'm gonna help you escape. Here, take my pistol. I know your kind knows how to use it. Believe me, I do. I also know you don't like using weapons, but considering the people that will be coming after you after this, you don't have a choice, really. I'll burn this building to the ground. Say you burned up in the fire. They'll know I'm lying, but it'll take them a while to prove it. It won't work for long, but it will give you a head start. I'm sorry, but this is the best I can offer you. I know it doesn't mean much coming from a hunter like myself, but I wish you the best of luck in the future. I hope you find the freedom you seek, the freedom your kind seeks. But if you don't, if they corner you, take my advice. It's better to die free than to live in fear. Good luck. And thank you. I couldn't have done this without you.